my advice in the past when it came to quitting porn was just absolutely terrible. Now, I want to take responsibility and own up to that fact, but I also know that I was just talking about the things that for me were working at the time, and also things that I'd been taught by other people who are supposedly experts on this topic. So, substitution then, like, why doesn't substitution work when it comes to quitting porn? In the past, I used to talk so much rubbish about doing loads of exercise. I used to talk rubbish about how to break a habit, you need to make a new habit. Great benefits from exercise, and so I guess you just have to substitute that habit of edging with something that's a lot healthier, because to break a habit you do need to often make a habit instead. But the problem with that kind of level of thinking is that you're not actually tapping into the porn addicted brain map. So there's a certain addictive neural pathway there, and if you're substituting, and let's say you're going to the gym or you're meditating or you're journaling or studying really hard and working, well, yeah, that's really good and that's going to be good for your brain, but it has nothing to do with the addicted porn neural pathways. So the compulsion does not go away if you just ignore it by substitution and distraction. My mentor, Mary Paulus, often says that distraction is a detour to disaster, and she's absolutely right, because I lived that for about 9 years, trying to get away from the urges and do anything I could to escape them, when the reality for me is that eventually they'd always come back, and eventually I'd always act on them. And what we need to do instead is actually address those urges directly. It's a little bit like dealing with a child, and maybe they're having a tantrum and they're shouting and screaming and shouting, and it's just relentless, it's just going on and on and on. And imagine you just ignoring that child. Well, they're not really going to give up, and even if you do eventually give in, they're probably just going to have another tantrum and be relentless in doing so until you give in to them again in the future. So what I'd do instead is just, the moment they start having a bit of a cry, or they're shouting at you and they want some attention, give them that attention, address it directly, deal with that addictive neural pathway. So the moment you have a craving to look at porn, you want to deal with it right away. Even if that thought only appears for just a few moments, okay, we have an opportunity here to change an addictive neural pathway. There's a lot of power in that. So what you want to do then is think through the choice. Think through, okay, I can engage in this compulsive behaviour, and I know that's going to sound crazy at first, but yeah, you can. You've proved that to yourself in the past by choosing to engage. So yeah, that's one option. Now, if we do that, what's the consequences? And we can think that through, and then we make a choice. And what happens when you make that choice repeatedly, time after time after time, and you just think through, okay, I have this desire, I'm going to make a choice here. What's going to happen is you're going to disconnect those addictive neural pathways, and you're going to embrace a real permanent mental freedom. And that is absolutely possible for everyone watching this, and that is what I want for you. So I hope this short video does help. Now, if you want to learn more about the Beyond Compulsion method, we have some free training at www.beyondcompulsionacademy.com, and you can also get a score right now out of 100 to see if you are addicted to porn, and hopefully doing that test can kind of get you one step closer towards permanent mental freedom by just raising up your levels of self-awareness. So thanks a lot for listening or watching to this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.